Chris Wheaton.
I'm not here tonight to beg you to unmask our kids. I'm here again to point out some of the hypocrisies in this global science experiment. The CDC, influenced by Lord Fauci, has changed the science over and over again, literally overnight. Deciphering the conflicting data can be overwhelming, but breaking down the common sense numbers should be pretty easy, even for those still struggling with elementary math. There is not one scientific study that shows masks have a positive impact on combating coronavirus. The science is not settled and it never will be. Remember way back in the old days of 2020 when they had you cleaning your groceries with Clorox wipes to get rid of the COVID-19 left on your vegetables by the contaminated stock crew? You couldn't find latex gloves because everyone was stocked up, too afraid to touch doorknobs and gas pumps. Remember all the way back to 2021 when they wanted you wearing goggles and face shields so you don't get COVID through your eyeballs? Seems pretty ridiculous, don't it? So why hang on to the masking? My theory, people are scared. They're not scared of the coronavirus. They're not scared of dying. It's been 2 years and we've all been exposed. They're scared to look like fools, afraid to admit they were wrong, scared to acknowledge they put their trust in the scientists and not in the science. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the often misquoted definition of insanity. Although very relevant for this conversation, I prefer the literal definition. A severely disordered state of mind, unsoundness of the mind, or lack of the ability to understand, extreme folly or unreasonableness, something utterly foolish or unreasonable. There is no better example of insanity than 2 years of trying to hide behind a mask from a virus with a 98.8% survivability rate. 2 years of advice from psychopaths that want to push archaic mitigations requiring children to be masked at school and at play. 2 years of mandates targeted at our smallest citizens with the lowest risk of transmission of any group. Although some of you do have children in the school system, I keep coming back to the fact that the majority of those voting to keep children masked do not have school-age children and likely haven't in decades. So it brings me to my final point. Why serve on a board dedicated to our children? Why does your opinion matter when you don't have a dog in the fight? Why should you get a vote when you don't have to go home and look your child in the eye and explain your actions tonight? Fauci was on the Sunday Nonsense Network over the weekend declaring we will never go back to pre-COVID normal. So if you're waiting for the Messiah himself or Emperor Roy Cooper to grace your television and declare COVID is over, it ain't going to happen. It will end when we say it's over. And for some of you, that will be never, and you will be fine with that. But one thing I do know for certain will end, and that is your mob rule over this board.
Christy Bartholomew. I'm sorry, thank you.
I get confused also. Pretty much all that he said. I just want to know why our kids are still wearing masks.